June 2023, OceanGate sent its submersible, the Titan, on a commercial dive to the Titanic. What began as an exciting expedition turned into a nightmare just 90 minutes in. The Titan's carbon fiber hull couldn't handle the crushing pressure of the deep ocean and imploded, killing all 5 people on board instantly. 2 years later, the U.S. Coast Guard released a 335-page report. Its conclusion was blunt. This tragedy could have been avoided. The investigation found that OceanGate had cut corners at every step, ignoring basic engineering protocols. The manuals were incomplete, the testing was unsafe, and the Titan had already shown warning signs on earlier dives, but the company pushed forward anyway. Jason Neubauer, head of the Coast Guard's board, put it simply, those 5 lives didn't have to be lost. The Titan's biggest flaw was its experimental carbon fiber hull, a material never before used for such depths. Experts had long warned that carbon fiber weakens and delaminates under repeated pressure cycles. In fact, on missions in 2021 and 2022, strange cracking noises were heard from inside the hull, but nothing was done. Rob McCallum, a former OceanGate consultant, later said it was mathematically certain the Titan would fail. The only unknown was when. The heart of the problem was OceanGate's CEO, Stockton Rush, who was not just the company's leader, but also the Titan's designer, engineer, pilot, and even safety officer. All power was concentrated in his hands, and he refused outside checks. Certification, he believed, slowed innovation. Anyone who raised safety concerns was silenced or fired. In one case, the company's operations director lost his job in 2018 after simply warning Rush about safety risks. The message inside OceanGate was clear: safety wasn't welcome. The Titan itself was shockingly underprepared. Despite being marketed as cutting edge, it was controlled by a modified PlayStation controller. Its operations manual had large gaps, with some sections marked to be determined. The part covering deep-sea missions was only 4 pages long. Even its communication system was bargain bin, just delayed text messages, instead of the real-time voice systems every other submersible uses. OceanGate avoided safer systems to save money. Behind the scenes, the company was also broke. By 2023, staff were being asked to work without pay, with promises of later reimbursement. Stockton Rush was funding operations from his own pocket, while inexperienced engineers, some barely out of school, were put in charge of designing and maintaining the Titan. One former director described the whole effort as a high school project with a team of similar caliber. The Titan tragedy wasn't just a technical failure. It was a failure of leadership, of accountability, and of common sense. Stockton Rush once said that safety is a waste and that progress requires taking risks. But this time, the risk didn't bring discovery or adventure. It brought death. The Coast Guard's final words were more than a warning about one company. If the world doesn't learn from this, another Titan disaster will happen somewhere, sometime, driven by the same mix of arrogance, shortcuts, and human stubbornness.